Good morning, everybody. Happy Monday. My name is Brittany, and I am the owner of Out of the Box Virtual Assisting. And we are back. Excuse me, y'all. Need to drink some more water. Anyways, I am back with another video. It has been a while. I am so happy to be able to get back. It has been very busy in my business. I will be making some pivots, some changes, but I have an awesome topic that just dropped on me this morning. Let's talk about virtual teams and building healthy virtual teams. Let's be honest, guys. I have been a part of some healthy virtual teams and some very unhealthy virtual teams. So what makes virtual teams successful versus unsuccessful? There's a few things that I wanted to mention to you all. The first thing I wanted to go over is communication. Lack of communication, too much communication, and just enough communication. Lack of communication happens when, of course, there's no clarity. Nobody knows exactly what they're doing, and nobody's talking about it to discuss if we all get what we're supposed to be doing. Too much communication can actually be the same thing as lack of communication. Because if there's so much chatting and talking, but we're not talking about the things that are important, the things that are of high importance versus low importance versus medium importance. If no one knows what we need to be focusing on 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and in what order? Because maybe the fifth thing on the list actually needs to be the first thing on the list. Maybe the third thing on the list actually needs to be the second thing on the list. Who's making sure that processes make sense? Having maybe an online business manager or an executive assistant, somebody who's leading the virtual team who knows what processes should look like, what project management looks like for managing the project from beginning to end. What does it look like? Having strong virtual leadership is very necessary because unlike being in person, you can't see facial expressions, you can't see frustration, you can't feel it. Sometimes you can feel when somebody's frustrated. Even if their face doesn't show it, their body language can be showing it. Maybe they're sitting like this. Maybe they're doing one of these, or, and granted, in a virtual space, you may be able to see some of the eye rolling or some of the puzzled looks on faces, but you can't really feel how the person is feeling. Trust me, you can feel when somebody's feeling off. You can feel it. And so that's very important inside of a virtual team. You may pass somebody, like if you were in person, you may pass them headed to their office or headed to the bathroom, and y'all may be able to have a brief conversation away from the managers or the leadership. And then you may be able to tell your manager, hey, so-and-so is actually overwhelmed to her position. She actually has too many pieces. Can we help her? What can we do? Because you had like a kind of like an sideline conversation. But in a virtual space, we tend not to do that. Unless the person reaches out to you directly, you don't run into them to see them upset or to see them crying or to see them frustrated. You don't run into somebody in a virtual space. You have to actually decide that you're going to reach out to the person. And a lot of times in virtual spaces, there is no reaching out. There is no checking. There is no, are you okay? Are you good? Are you overwhelmed? Do you feel adequately equipped to complete your job? That is a healthy virtual team. And I've been learning for myself what it looks like. And as I start to work on building my own virtual team of assistants and project managers and however else the Lord chooses for my direction of my business to go, it is important that we make sure we are training people in a healthy virtual space. So communication is a part of it, not allowing people to feel like they're people. Yes, we're in a virtual space. Yes, none of us are around each other in person, but it is important to remember that person is still a person. They are not a computer. Though they are talking to you through a computer or through Slack or through your phone, they are still a person. And it is important to service the whole person and not just, hey, you complete the task, thumbs up. Hey, you did a really good job with that flyer, heart. Like, okay, you gave them an emoji. I mean, for me, getting an emoji from somebody just means like, okay, but there's no words. People like to hear it. People like to hear, You did excellent. You did amazing. This is beautiful work. I truly appreciate you being a part of my team. People want to hear it because you're already in a virtual space where you're not hearing nothing. Like I'm sitting here at my desk right now, and guess what you hear in my background? I'm going to pause. Nothing. I can slightly hear one of my neighbor's TVs. Maybe a phone conversation. Not sure, but I can hear the hum of somebody talking on the other side of my wall. But in my space, there's nothing. And if someone lives in a house by themselves with no next door neighbor that shares walls with them, they hear nothing. If they don't have a dog, no spouse, no child, no sibling, they hear nothing. Let's be mindful of that when we're in virtual spaces. Is that the conversations they have with us may be the only conversations they're having, the only human-to-human interaction that they're having. So let's make it deeper than just being on a computer typing up some stuff. Let's think about that. Do I have anything else that I think is important? Acknowledgement, communication, and I think along the lines of communication, I'm just going to add on, well, it still goes along with the same thing, which is caring. Caring for the person behind the screen, behind the device, caring for them. Making sure that if we have systems in place, okay, so that's the next one I'm going to go over. Systems. Healthy virtual teams have healthy systems that everybody is utilizing. So if you use Trello in your business, right, make sure tasks are placed in Trello and not you're texting a person a list of tasks that they then in turn have to turn around and add that to their Trello board or add that to the correct company Trello board, because maybe you have multiple boards. So to add them to the right board, it's important to just put them there instead of sending it to through a text message or a phone call. I think for me, that's very stressful. It could be stressful for some other people to get a phone call and they're like, okay, I need you to do this and this and this and this and this and this and this. And you're like, oh, okay, let me grab a pen real fast. Okay, you want me to do what? Okay, I got it. Then you got to get off the phone, go to your computer, and type in all the stuff that they said and hope that you heard it right. Hope that you're typing it right. Why not save the person a step, put it in Trello, put the list of things that you need them to do. Then if you wanted to call them, hey, such and such, I assigned to you a task in Trello. I just wanted to provide a little bit more clarification. Possibly, now you don't always have to call the person, but possibly give them a call. And then they can ask you any questions like, oh, hey, I noticed on here you said this. Did you mean that? Okay, let me make sure. Okay, let me type a note for myself right there. Or you can say, hey, matter of fact, let me clarify that a little bit more. Clarity is so important in virtual teams. I'm trying to tell you, it's important, period. But with virtual teams, it is very important to be fully clear on what you're looking for and what is needed. So utilizing your systems. If you're supposed to be Slacking the person, please don't call them when it's been determined that you all will use Slack to communicate. Don't call them. Don't text them. Use the systems that you put in place and make sure you're using them according to what was agreed to of how the system would be used. I had one more thing that popped in my head. What was it? I will mention boundaries as well, not overstepping boundaries. If you're supposed to get off at 5 o'clock, why are you slacking them at midnight? If y'all get off at 6 o'clock, why are you slacking them at 6 p.m.? Why are you slacking them at 6 a.m.? If you was in person, you wouldn't go to the building and wait for somebody to come there to tell them something, or you won't go to their house and knock on the door and say, hey, I know I forgot to tell you this at 6 p.m. last night, but since it's 6 a.m., I'm going to tell you something. And that's honestly what Slack sounds like. It's like a knock, 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 knock. Why are you knocking at them virtually at midnight? Just because a thought popped in your head. You do know that Slack allows you to schedule out messages so that you can actually put a timestamp on it and schedule it for a later time so that it will come to them at a decent hour. These are all things that I've learned from working in a virtual space. I feel like I had one more, but it is not coming to me at the moment, so it's okay. Maybe I can save that for another video if it pops back into my mind. But anyways, what do you all think about the tips that I've suggested? What do you all think about building healthy virtual teams? Oh, matter of fact, it just popped back in my head. Look at God. The other thing is meetings. Meetings. Nobody likes a pointless meeting, or nobody likes a meeting that has a point, but the point has been reiterated over and 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 over again. Let's make sure the meetings have a point. Let's write down an agenda. Let's give timestamps, even to how long we can spend on one topic. So if we're going to talk about, what's one? We're going to talk about a new partnership we just got, right? Okay, so for 10 minutes, we're talking about this partnership. For 5 minutes, we will allow feedback and comments from team members. For 10 minutes, we will discuss social media management and how that's going. For 5 more minutes, we will allow feedback. And then have somebody tracking the time. Hey, it's been 10 minutes. Okay, y'all, let's pivot. Because nobody wants to waste time in a 3 or 4 hour meeting. I know I don't want to sit there for 3 or 4 hours. Because you know what starts to happen for me after a while? Brittany's brain starts to drift. And a lot of people's brains start to drift after a while. Because it's boring, it's long-winded, and we're talking about all different things under the sun instead of making sure that the meetings have a point. There was this poll, I believe it was Forbes magazine that did this poll about virtual meetings, right? And people were talking about how, or meetings, period. It was just meetings. And one of the things people did not like is pointless meetings, or meetings that went for too long, or meetings that did not have clear expectations that were set, no clear agenda, no nothing. Those are things that people did not like. And so I encourage people to do these things so that you can have a strong and healthy virtual team. I feel like that is something that I am being called to and pulled to, is to build healthy virtual teams. I will be working on building my own virtual team. And so if you are a virtual assistant and maybe you don't have a client, or you have very little clients and you are interested in working with me, please feel free to send me a direct message on Instagram, on YouTube, and on Facebook. And once I create a actual flyer or application form, I'll have you all go ahead and fill out the application, and I will talk to you about joining my virtual team, because now is the time and I want to make sure my team is healthy. And if you need help making sure that your virtual team is healthy, I'm available. I'm available, because I'm very passionate about people being a part of healthy teams that do not cause them to get off work and be stressed out, because that's not God. But yeah, so y'all have a wonderful day. I will catch y'all later. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and share this video with somebody else who's struggling to build a healthy virtual team. I'll catch you all next time. Bye.